Today on Couch Tomatoes, we're talking all things Emmys.
I'll tell you one thing, if we lose, it certainly won't be for lack of touching people in a Denny's. Hello, everybody.
What's up, everyone? I'm Naz Perez, and welcome to the brand new show from Rotten Tomatoes, Couch Tomatoes, brought to you by Freshetta. Here's the thing, with TV and all these new streaming services, it's so hard to choose what to watch on TV because there's so many good options out there, which is why here on Couch Tomatoes, we're gonna help you guys out. And we're actually kicking off our first episode talking all things Emmys because the Emmys are this Sunday. And lucky for me, I'm not doing this alone. Joining me on the couch today is senior editor at TV Guide Malcolm Venable, Fandango's film and TV correspondent Nikki Novak, and IndieWire's Ben Travers. Hello, guys.
Hi. Hello.
I feel like I have the Golden State Warriors of the Emmys. You know what I mean? Like, you guys watch so much television.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear predictions. Before we get into predictions, though, I really want to talk about the big stories that everyone's talking about when it comes to Emmys, starting with Game of Thrones, right? I mean, a whopping 32 Emmy nominations. They already stole 10 of them this past weekend at the Creative Arts Emmys. However, they had a controversial last season, right? 58% on the Tomatometer. I think the series average is 89% on the Tomatometer. A lot of people feel like the final season was rushed. We saw caramel macchiatos on set. So Ben, I want to start off with you. Do you feel like this final season is going to taint Game of Thrones' legacy, or do you feel like the Emmy voters are actually going to honor Game of Thrones?
I think it's both. I think the final season kind of tainted its own legacy, but in terms of the Emmys, they're going to give it all the awards still. They're so locked in at this point because there's just not a lot of strong competition out there. Like, the other shows are great, but they're not as beloved, they're not as instilled within the Academy as Game of Thrones, so they're still going to make a run on Sunday, and it's going to be a lot of wins.
There were a lot of shows that also wouldn't qualify this season, like Westworld. We didn't see Handmaid's Tale. A lot of shows and The Crown that we would normally see go up against them, and I think that's part of the reason we saw more nominations.
Yeah, there's still nothing like it on television in terms of scope and scale and production and story.
Do you guys feel like Emmy voters tend to favor final seasons?
I think they do when it's the right kind of timing, I guess. Like, you've seen it happen with stuff like Breaking Bad. Like, they got really, really excited for that final season / 2 split seasons of Breaking Bad, and they really wanted to give it as many awards as they possibly could, despite a lot of intense competition out there. But Mad Men's final season was widely ignored. John Hamm was able to pull off a win because he just hadn't done it yet, but they felt like they'd honored it so many times already that they were kind of done with it.
I feel like now that it's been a couple months since the last episode and people's madness has sort of cooled off a bit, it was the writers that people are mad at primarily, not necessarily the actors. And I think that's where you're going to see. I'm even hearing the word sweep this week, that there could be a sweep of Game of Thrones. So I think people are sort of getting behind it again and sort of want to see. I mean, it was a cultural phenomenon. I mean, you're not going to see anything like it for a long time, if ever.
Thank heaven.
Are you tired of it?
I'm not a throner. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, who are all these people? I don't know all their names. Sorry.
Don't know all the
He admits it. I love that you're admitting this.
Yeah, that's
this is
like
great.
when I'm watching football. I'm like, I don't know who these people are under the helmets. But what's interesting about the final season of Game of Thrones, and you were mentioning madness, is that when HBO was getting a lot of flack for this final season, Chernobyl kind of came up out of nowhere and was this instant success for HBO. And it got me thinking about the next big story at Emmys that everyone's talking about, which is lead actor in a limited series, where Jared Harris from Chernobyl is actually nominated. But when I look at this category, it's really insane, you guys. You have all these Oscar winners, Benicio del Toro, Mahershala Ali, Sam Rockwell, all up for their first Emmy ever. But really the buzz is around Jharrel Jerome and Jared Harris. So Malcolm, I want to hear from you first. Do these two stand a chance against these seasoned actors?
Absolutely, but I think it's going to go to Jharrel. I mean, he's just 21, which is remarkable, and he did such a phenomenal job in When They See Us, but I think there's specific things that work in his favor from that performance. The story is timely, it's about social justice. He was the only person in the cast to play a younger version of the same person.
Right.
And then he had an entire episode to himself where he was in solitary confinement, and he just really kind of broke out of the confines of what you would even expect to see on television. It was just fantastic. If he doesn't win, I'm rioting. I'm fighting.
Oh.
I'm putting that out there into that.
I'm putting it out there that somebody with the letter J is going to win this category. No, I think it's between the two. And I think even though we have legends, I think it's social relevance and buzz, and Chernobyl and When They See Us have that. So between the two, I keep going. This is one of my toughest categories. When we get to the predictions, I still don't know what I'm going to say. It's going to be either Jared or Jarrell.
Yeah, in terms of the Oscar winners out there, I really think Mahershala Ali is the leader of that squadron of folks. Like, I think he delivered such an incredible performance on True Detective. But at the same time, I feel like, we've given it to Mahershala before. He's won 2 Oscars now.
Right.
Like, he's very well known, very respected. I think it's probably time to share the wealth a little bit, and I think people are really excited, especially given how many nominations When They See Us has in the acting categories, to award somebody from that cast.
I think
Jarrell's the man.
Yeah, and I think a couple years ago, if a film actor did a TV show, we kind of assumed they were going to win the Emmy, and I don't think we're necessarily seeing that anymore.
Right, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But you brought up something that got me thinking between Jarrell and Jared, because I'm also torn between these two. There's this kind of generational struggle here. Do you award someone who's been at it for a while, who gave us a standout performance, or do you award the person with this breakthrough performance so early on in his acting career?
I still say Jarrell.
Yeah.
It gives the Emmys an opportunity to be, for lack of a better word, hipper and cooler, because Jarrell's a kid. He's not even 22 yet.
But Jared Harris, I will argue, he is sort of an unsung hero. He has been around for so long and hasn't necessarily got the accolades as some of like the bigger stars in this category.
He was nominated for Mad Men, and a lot of people were actually upset that he wasn't nominated for first season of AMC's The Terror. So
yeah, so I think it would be one of those things where if he did win, I don't think anybody would be necessarily mad at that, because he does have that body of work and hasn't been sort of a name, like he's been in so many things, and he's that person that's just not a big star, but he's deserving.
And weirdly enough, it feels like you mentioned he's broken out on TV already. Like, he's had enough roles through Mad Men, through The Terror, through The Crown, where it's like he should have been recognized more than he has been with the Emmys, which makes me think that they're just not as big of fans, perhaps, as the rest of the world, or at least the rest of the TV community.
Well, one person they're not slow for is Miss Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I mean, next to the word Emmy winner in the dictionary, I feel like is her face. But before we get to Julia, Nikki and I actually sat down earlier to talk about all the must-haves you need for an awards-worthy watch party. Check it out. All right, guys, so aside from hooking you up with all our predictions, we're also going to tell you how to spice up your award show watch party this weekend.
I'm actually having one at my place. I need a little help with this. What do you think that I should serve?
Okay, so whenever I have a party, I always serve pizza, because you can't go wrong with pizza. It makes the party.
If somebody doesn't like pizza, I don't like them.
Yeah, no, I agree. And when I throw a party, my go-to is Freschetta, because they have so many different flavors. They're just made better, and this rising crust pepperoni is always a hit.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, people are obsessed with it.
Set for that. So now I'm thinking pairings. I know red wine always goes well with pizza, but what do you think? Like champagne, cocktails?
I think it's fun to switch it up. I think people forget that pizza goes so well with so many different drink pairings. My personal favorite pizza with champagne is actually this brick oven spinach and mushroom.
Diving in.
There's something about the earthiness of the mushroom that just goes so well with the rich fruitiness of the champagne. When I'm throwing a party, I always like to elevate the experience, and I throw a little gin, lemon, and sugar in the champagne. It's called a French 75, and that is also always a hit.
You are so fancy. You really need to come to my party. You're
try.
invited.
Oh my God, thanks. If you're serving Freschetta and champagne, I'm there.
Yay. Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, let's talk about Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I feel like she has more gold statues in her house in the city of Dubai. She could soon hold the most Emmys for a performer of all time. She's currently tied with Cloris Leachman for 8. Nikki, does anyone stand a chance against Julia in the lead actress for a comedy series?
I think this is the biggest lock of everything at the Emmys, but it's so much of a lock that it's reminding me of Glenn Close at the Oscars. How everybody thought she was going to win, and then there was a shock when Olivia Colman won. So that's the only thing that I think, barring a shocking moment like that, I think she's a lock. I think she's been a superstar through this whole thing. I think if they're going to award the show sort of for their last season, it might not necessarily go to Veep, but Julia will be the person that's going to win.
Yeah, and I mean, I think over the last few years when Veep was a sure thing in a lot of categories, that it felt even more like Julia was just, she was going to take it. Like, you just wrote that off. You didn't worry about it. But because it's a little bit weaker this year, because more other comedies have more nominations than HBO's, crown jewel, maybe this is the year where Julia finally slips off. Maybe this is the time when Phoebe Waller-Bridge sneaks in for Fleabag, or Natasha Lyonne sneaks in for Russian Doll. Both of those got some Creative Arts Emmy love this past weekend, which was really exciting. So, it could happen. I'm still with you. I still think Julia's got it, but I'm a little more nervous than normal.
Well, I say when it comes to the Emmys, it's like, Jan Brady. It's like, Julia. It's hers.
I mean, does Brosnahan have a chance here? She did one last year when Julia, wasn't eligible.
If it was a should win category, I would choose Rachel because I think she continues to excel on that show. But I think that show will clean up, and I don't necessarily. What?
Sorry, I can't get on board with this nonsense. This is a lot.
Nonsense.
Over Phoebe, you think deserves it
I would.
more?
I mean, I'd put Rachel like 4th or 5th build on
Yeah,
this chart of deserving winners.
This go round.
I mean,
It's Julia and then Phoebe.
In terms of what you
It's
think
Phoebe
or
and then
would.
Julia.
well, then we
Is
can't
this
leave out Catherine O'Hara too because.
Well, Catherine O'Hara would
Right,
be
there
second.
we go.
Moira Rose.
I mean-
how is no one even talking about
And this would
Catherine?
be her second since like 19. She hasn't won since like 1982 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
And she's such a beloved character. Not that the other ones aren't, but I mean.
But is this unviable?
Moira Rose is iconic.
It's an iconic TV character. I'm shocked that more people aren't talking about.
I think people are, though. I think in terms of an upset, that name is getting bounced around as much as Phoebe's name is. And I think that's another person that if she were to win, people would jump to their feet. It would just be
Absolutely.
a huge
Although Julia might hit her, I'll beat her in the parking lot. Or something.
as Selena or as herself.
I want to take a second and talk about first-time nominees and some fresh faces. Who are some first-time nominees that you think people should be paying attention to?
I'm Team Jarrell Jerome. Again, we know him from his outstanding turn in Moonlight, which seems like ancient history, but it was only a couple of years ago. And to think he's this young kid from the Bronx who actually never even thought that he'd be able to become an actor. I mean, so many boxes get checked here. He's fantastic for representation of Latinx and African-American performers. The story is like timely, relevant, socially conscious. The material that he had to work with was obviously outstanding.
Nikki?
I concur, but I'm going to throw in an Anthony Kerrigan. I absolutely love him on Barry. It is one of my favorite shows. But that character, NoHo Hank, he's such a standout. Every time he comes on screen, as much as I love the other actors, he steals every scene he's in. And I think he's pretty much a long shot in terms of a win, but I'm so glad he was nominated.
And he's making like no eyebrows look fabulous.
Yes, that's hard to do because
Yeah.
I've had that before.
It's hard
and
to
trust
do.
me, it's the alien look is not
Yeah,
good.
I'm waiting for thin eyebrows to come back so I can be in again.
And mine is Jodie Comer for Killing Eve, who I just feel like is on fire right now. Like you're just kind of waiting with bated breath to see what else she's going to get to do because she's so good on Killing Eve and creating an assassin in 2019 who's unique and stands out and that people want to keep watching and are interested in and doesn't kind of just fit the mold of previous characters. She's done that and then so much more.
Right, and I'm just throwing out there, she should be a Marvel superhero. I think she would make a great.
That is such a good
She's new, she's fresh, she's a great actress, and she has a presence.
As far as fresh faces for me, I'm really into Joey King right now. Like what she did in the act, the physical transformation, just shaving her head, I feel like she gave us such a deep and mature performance, and we're so used to seeing her in like these kid and teen friendly movies like The Kissing Booth on Netflix. And just the video that she uploaded on social media when she got nominated like actually made me cry. I'm really excited for her that she's nominated, and I just can't wait to see what she does next.
She reminds me of like a Natalie Portman, like how she was a young actress that you just knew was going to be a massive actress when she got older, and she's that person.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so I feel like we got through all the big stories. We got through all the first-time nominees that we think you guys should watch out for. But now I want to go through each major category and know who your predictions are because I have a car payment to pay off and I'm going to be making some bets this weekend. So I want to hear who you guys predict to win. And then after you guys tell me, I'm actually going to tell you guys what the RT staff pick is. And so these are the expert predictions for the nominees on TV's Biggest Night based on the combined ballots of the editorial team here at Rotten Tomatoes. So, first one, lead actress in a comedy series. We obviously talked about this when we talked about Julia, but I want to know down the line, who do you guys think is going to win this weekend?
Julia.
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 Julia. Damn.
And Julia.
She's like Tom Brady at a Super Bowl. I'm like, she's just a shoo-in. And surprise, surprise, guys, the RT staff pick is also Julia Louis-Dreyfus. So I will be shocked if she doesn't win this Sunday.
I think she will too.
Okay, so lead actor in a comedy series. When I look at this category, I think there's a lot of showbiz legends in this category. You got Ted Danson, Michael Douglas, Eugene Levy, and then you have Bill Hader, who's nominated again, won this category last year. So who do you guys predict to win?
Bill again.
Bill again.
Bill again.
Bill Hader's going to win this. He's the it guy of the It movie, and he is the it guy of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not done rewarding Bill Hader just yet. He's going to win.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the RT staff pick also thinks it's Bill Hader, so hopefully he takes that. Okay, so outstanding comedy series. And I want to make note that no show that's won for its first season has ever won for its final season, because I feel like a lot of people are looking at Veep, right? Because it's the final season. So who do you guys predict to win outstanding comedy on Sunday?
So I think Veep is gonna win, although I would like Fleabag to win. Veep will win.
All right.
I disagree. I don't think it's going to be Veep. I think Veep only has, 8 total nominations. I think The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is sort of flying under the radar just because we kind of go, okay, we've heard it. But I really think the 20 nominations are impressive. But I think Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is going to win.
I was actually Team Barry up until the Creative Arts Awards, and then after Maisel just kind of dominated that scene in a way that we didn't expect. I'm starting to come on to the Maisel side, and officially I'm going to go Maisel.
Did I just win you over?
Yeah.
The RT staff pick, guys, is Fleabag. And I also think Fleabag's going to take it. I think Fleabag's going to do an upset.
Thank you for validating me.
Okay, let's move on to lead actress in a limited series. This category is very interesting, right? Patricia Arquette won the Globe for Escape at Dannemora, but this time Michelle Williams is in the mix. Who do you guys have winning lead actress in a limited series?
I say Michelle Williams. It has to. It's just a phenomenal performance, and on top of that, I think the story that is sort of run tangential to the actual show has been great. So I think Michelle Williams is the winner.
Nikki.
I have nothing more to add, so I concur about Michelle Williams, but I need to give a shout out to Amy Adams. She will not win, but she was so outstanding in Sharp Objects.
It's going to be Michelle. She's got so much love around town. Like the response that people have shown her for during the FYC screenings, during her kind of campaigning around town, it's been overwhelming, and I think she's going to take it.
I think she's so deserving of it too. And the RT staff pick agrees. Michelle Williams for Fosse Verdon. Okay, lead actor in a limited series. We kind of talked about this at the top of the show. We didn't really talk about Hugh Grant too much. Like, it was there for A Very English Scandal and then kind of just went away. Who do you guys predict to win this category this Sunday?
Jarrell.
Jarrell Jerome.
This is the toughest one for me, but I'm going with Jarrell.
I'm going with Jarrell as well. I feel like he's captured the momentum at this point, and also they love that show.
It would be so epic to see him win too over all these seasoned actors in the category. But the RT staff pick actually thinks it's going to go to Jared Harris for Chernobyl, which I would also be happy to see him take that. Okay, let's talk about outstanding limited series. We kind of talked about this at the top of the show. But when I look at this category, all of these shows are based on real life events except for Sharp Objects. And I feel like the race here is really between Chernobyl and When They See Us. Both powerful stories that portray, these great injustices that came out of willful ignorance. Who do you guys predict to win this Sunday?
I say When They See Us. We've talked about the social justice aspect, but it's also really well done.
This was the trickiest one for me. It was so tough. It's so neck and neck, and I really had When They See Us, but with the Creative Arts Emmys, Chernobyl sort of just up the ante a little bit. I think it has the slight edge right now, but could go either way. I'd be happy with either, but I think it's going to be Chernobyl.
I actually agree with you in the sense that I think Chernobyl has the edge right now, but I'm sticking with When They See Us.
So, Nikki, the RT staff pick actually agrees with you, and they're going with Chernobyl. So this will be a really fun category to watch on Sunday. Okay, moving on to lead actress in a drama series. This category has a staggering 7 nominees. Ben, you kind of talked about this at the top of the show. I feel like the race here is between Sandra Oh and Jodie for the same show. So who do you guys predict?
Sandra.
Sandra Oh.
I liked Jodie better this season, but she didn't win before, and this is a historic moment for her and for women of Asian descent as well. Not that that's the thing that's going to carry her necessarily, but she still did a phenomenal job. So I'm going with Sandra.
I'm actually going to go outside of the box a little bit. I'm going to go with Emilia Clarke. I think it's going to be a surprise there for Game of Thrones. I think she's so beloved. I think she's been nominated before several times, and I think this is the last chance for her to get this win. So I think it's going to be her.
If that's the win, that's the one I'll riot for. So while you're rioting, I'll be very angry if Emilia wins, especially because Sandra and Jodie are just so good at killing Eve. Yeah, I think it's Sandra.
Oh, well, it's interesting because the RT staff pick also thinks it's Sandra, but Sandra's also never won an Emmy, you guys. It's crazy. Okay, let's move on to lead actor in a drama series. This category is really interesting because Billy Porter is the only first-time nominee, yet I'm hearing a lot of buzz about him. What do you guys predict?
Yeah, it's Billy Porter, and he deserves it. And I think it's been so great to see his sort of campaigning for it, and the ways he talks about having been overlooked as a performer for most of his career, and now to be in a position where he's the lead. I think people love it. have great feelings about the show and him. So I'd say Billy's the winner.
What do you think?
I agree. I think it's Billy's. I think Billy is by far the front runner in this category.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit closer than that. I do think that Jason Bateman has a shot for Ozark, but I am going to go with Billy Porter. I think Pose has that slight edge.
And guys, surprise, surprise, the RT staff pick is also for Billy Porter for Pose, so I really hope we see him win this Sunday. Moving on to the big one, Outstanding Drama Series. Do we still think it's going to be GOT?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's definitely Game of Thrones.
If you want to get your new car, then on Game of Thrones. That's going to be the one, yeah.
Yeah, again, your odds are going to be terrible, but I would bet the car on Game of Thrones. I think if there's an upset lurking, which there isn't, it would be Succession, if only because it's gained so much buzz for its second season, and people have really kind of picked up on it a little bit late, and maybe enough people like it, and HBO wants to see it happen, but it's not going to. Right. It's still going to be Game of Thrones.
Okay, and the RT staff pick also agrees that it's going to be Game of Thrones. So guys, thank you so much for all your predictions. Hopefully we got all of you guys back at home set up so you're ready to go on Sunday. But before we go, I want to talk to you guys about what your fresh picks are. So these are shows that are nominated for an Emmy, but maybe are a little bit under the radar. So what show do you think everyone should add to their watch list?
I'd say Twilight Zone. Kumail Nanjiani is nominated for his performance in the first episode of the new CBS All Access take on the series. And he plays this stand-up comedian who's in this like warped, demented universe where he has the ability to make people die with his routine. And I thought it was fantastic.
I want to have that ability.
Is that not what we're doing right now? I thought we were deciding the Emmys as we said no to some and yes to the others.
My pick, you just mentioned Succession. A minute into it, I was hooked on the show. But if people, for whatever reason, haven't stuck with it, episode 5 is when it really kicks in and it goes to another level. Do you agree with me on that one?
Yeah.
It goes to another level, and also season 2. The most highly addictive show. If you want to get less sleep, watch that show.
What a recommendation. Sleep less. But no, my fresh pick is actually Big Mouth on Netflix. A new season is just around the corner. It was nominated for Best Animated Program. It's co-created by Nick Kroll as well as a slew of other people. It's got a great voice cast. Maya Rudolph absolutely owns the whole thing. Yeah. She pops up in just the most amazing ways, and the way she says bubble bath you will never forget.
I'm going with Fosse Verdon because I love Broadway, you guys, but I never knew the behind-the-scenes stories of Bob Fosse and Gwen Verdon. We talked about Michelle Williams. She is so unreal in this. I was watching the episodes and I was like, can someone get a Tony Award for a theatrical performance on screen? Like asking for Michelle Williams. It is just so good. FX series produced by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I feel like a lot of people didn't watch it. I think it came out right before season 8 of Game of Thrones, so I feel like it got lost in the shuffle with all the amazing limited series, but I just love Fosse Verdon. All right, guys, well, that's our show. That's all the time we have for today. I want to thank you guys so much. I feel like we covered so much ground when it comes to Emmys. If you guys want to see a full list of predictions from Rotten Tomatoes, head on over to RottenTomatoes.com. Also, let us know in the comment section what your thoughts and what your predictions are, if you agree or disagree with us. We really want to hear from you guys. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. It is free, and you won't miss any future episodes of Couch Tomatoes. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode. The next one we're doing is American Horror Story 1984. I am so excited. Thank you to Malcolm, Nikki, and Ben for joining me today, guys.
Woo!
I'm Naz Perez, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Julia.
To Julia.